What up, what up, what up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of the Witness gang, to join the Witness Nation. Let's get into this, shall we? Hello, you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. I'm Whitney. Keep it cute, get the boot. Welcome back, everybody. Disclaimer, this platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. I am not a journalist. I am a commentator. Okay, the views and opinions expressed in this video and on Whitney D TV's YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect the opinions of thyself, okay, and Whitney D's YouTube channel. Now, all topics are for entertainment purposes only. Comedy, satire, TV, rated mature. Viewers' discretion is highly advised because we're talking about some heavy stuff, okay? Now, our commentary is alleged, but very, very real, and very real indeed, because we are going over the transcripts. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I'm one of the hardest working girls I know. I mean, I'm just, look, I'm going to pat myself on the back, okay? Because before anybody else do, I'm going to do it, okay? God dang, I just been back to back, all right? But that's because I love y'all, and I'm just trying to get this information out there, okay? Now, not for nothing, we're going to talk about, sorry, I got distracted. We're going to talk about Charles Freeman, okay? The alleged liar taking the stand on today. Because as I told you, I'm going to try my best to give you guys up-to-date current information, as well as we're catching ourselves up with these transcripts, okay? We should be hearing Rashauna's testimony by tomorrow, okay? I was kind of skimming through what we're going to be reading today, and we're still hearing a cross by Bonjean for, I want to say, the officer that was involved. And then we're going to actually, hopefully we get to it, hear from the guy that actually bought R.Kelly's house. And if you watched last night, I showed you guys exhibits from that investigation that they did at his house, where they took pictures and things of that nature. We saw Space Jam murals and all kinds of stuff. We saw where the alleged assault took place. Now, excuse the rattling and noise in the background, child. I was cleaning before I got on, so you guys are possibly going to be hearing the dishwasher and the washing machine, okay? But bear with me, listen and focus to me, okay? Not for nothing, we are going to be coning in on a lot today. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome you guys to Evidence Over Emotions, the road to Illinois trial for R.Kelly. All right, you guys, welcome to Evidence Over Emotions. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know, okay? I want to say hi to you, okay? Not for nothing, I know you guys are trying to get abreast and caught up to the trial, and I'm doing my due diligence of making sure that I get all of the transcript reading out to you guys, as well as give you guys updates, okay? So make sure while you're here, you keep it cute, okay? Or you will get the boot. Now, what that means is that you do not have to agree with whatever I'm talking about as far as my commentary, but the facts are the facts, black and white, as far as transcripts and as far as any kind of articles that I'm reading. Now, you don't have to agree with my opinion, but I ask that you keep it cute, meaning that you keep it respectful, or you will get the boot, meaning you getting your ass about her, okay? You don't get about her, okay? Because you don't have to be here, okay? But if you are and you like what you're hearing, please, please, please make sure that you click that like button. It's free, all right? It is definitely free, but what is not, okay, is the membership here, all right? If you would like to join the greatest, one of the greatest show, aside from my wonderful friends that I've met here on YouTube, if you would like to join my show, my channel, you can do so by clicking the link that's located either in the chat or located in the description box upon the exit of this video, as well as you can click the X on the chat and you can click that big old JOIN button and become a part of the monthly membership. Now, I'm about to get ready to kick into gear. So all my members, stay tight. I got some exclusive stuff that I'm coming to you guys about solely, okay? Just bear with me, all right? And some cool stuff as well, okay? Not for nothing, if you like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so, okay? You can do so, and that's free, all right? Now, if you like to tip the hostess with the mostest, you can do so by sending me a Cash App or a Super Chat, which is located in the chat. All right. Now, 100% of your support goes back into the channel. So a Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle will suffice. And you can see all the information scroll at the bottom of the screen at this time. Now, if you got a tip or you would like to send me some of the transcripts direct so I can read them for you, you can send them to ReviewswithWhitneyD, okay? Whoo, child, I think that is everything, okay? All right, I think we're Gucci, okay? Not for nothing, y'all. I just wanted to, like I said, come today and giving y'all updates in regards to everything. But before we do, I have to give a shout out to the people that are in the building, okay? My devoted, loving Leslie, child. She said, I'm waiting. And if you guys don't know, I just got through premiering a pre-record of the final pages of the morning opening transcripts, so you guys can get caught up, okay? So anywho, and Leslie was in on that video prior to, and baby, she was letting me know I'm waiting over here too, okay? So shouts out to Leslie in the building, and Shawty, hey honey, team, keep him locked up. That part, all right? That part. I love the name, Shawty. I love it, okay? Not for nothing. Hey, everybody. Hey, you guys in the bushes. Follow every now and again and say hi to your girl, okay? While you're up there, please click either the like or dislike, okay? Either way, you're tuning in and I got you, okay? So you might as well make your presence known. If you're at work, I understand. I try not to be so loud. But, I can't guarantee that, okay? Not for nothing, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into everything. Like I said, we're going to hear what has transpired in regards to the alleged liar, okay? Charles Freeman taking the stand, okay? Now, as you guys know, I told y'all I am like just gripped tight to Chicago Tribune, and for these purposes solely is that they always report a good gist of what's going on. And I know for case in point, I think his name is Jason. He has been on it, okay? He has been on it. And so I've been on his Twitter feed, because he's just been keeping everybody abreast as to what's going on. He's actually been in the courtroom, okay? So this is an article that he actually wrote in regards to the jurors hearing from Charles Freeman. So let me go ahead and get this sorry, y'all. I want to get this banner updated with what we're going to be discussing for people that are coming in. I have to repeat or acknowledge anything. People will be able to read and see, oh, okay, so this is what we're talking about. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this updated. Boom. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this article, okay? Now, let's go. Okay, jurors hear key testimony from reputed fixer in alleged R.Kelly conspiracy to derail early criminal probe. Okay, now let's go ahead and hear about it. Okay, now this is how it looked, okay, in the courtroom. All right. Okay, now this is old stuff right here. This, I think this is old as well. Yeah, that was old stuff. All right, y'all. I'm thinking I'm just gonna we're gonna listen to the okay. So let me do this. Let me stop it And then let me share just to make sure that we got it on there. And I'm gonna let them read because they can read faster and not stumble over stuff like I do. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this on the screen. And then let me remove myself. Then we're gonna go ahead and get right on into the transcripts.
Key testimony from reputed fixer in alleged R.Kelly conspiracy to derail early criminal probe. In this courtroom sketch, the front of the courtroom is blocked off as a sexually graphic video clip is played for the jury during R.Kelly's trial in federal court August 19, 2022, in Chicago. Cheryl Cook/AP. A key prosecution witness against R.Kelly has taken the stand in the disgraced Randy B. Soup incriminating videotapes while Kelly was being investigated for sexual abuse. Charles Freeman, who defense attorneys characterized in opening statements as a liar, a con man and extortionist, is testifying under an immunity deal from prosecutors. Freeman entered the packed courtroom dressed in a shiny blue suit and dark glasses. He took his glasses and black face mask off before he started testifying. Described the way they and several times during Freeman's testimony, Kelly leaned over to whisper to his attorneys. Freeman began working for Kelly doing merchandising in the early 1990s, he testified, and the two men became friends. Freeman told jurors that in 2001 he got a call from Kelly, who said he wanted him to recover some tapes. Not long afterward, he heard from co-defendant Daryl McDavid and investigator Jack testified, who said there would be a reward if he could get the stolen video back. At the time of the phone calls, he did not know what was on the tape, he said. Daryl said it was a performance tape they really needed to recover, and if I would recover the tape they would take care of me, Freeman said. Those were his exact words. The second week of R.Kelly's Chicago federal trial continued Tuesday as prosecutors outlined an alleged conspiracy to cover up Kelly's alleged sexual misconduct before his Cook County criminal trial. Birkeland first took the stand late Monday and said he was hired copies of a certain videotape, and whether it was the only videotape he had. Birkeland gave the unidentified man 3 tests and he passed all 3, he said. The test subject was relatively uncooperative at first, declining even to give Birkeland his name. But when Birkeland told him what the attorney said, that the subject would get $200,000 if he passed, the man grew more compliant, Birkeland said Tuesday on cross-examination from an attorney representing co-defendant Milton Brown. Birkeland had said Monday on direct examination that at one point the test subject pulled a VHS tape out of his pants and left it on the table while he used the restroom. The person who hired him had also arranged for the same test subject to undergo a polygraph, Birkeland said Monday. Tuesday morning, polygraph administrator John Herlock testified remotely from Missouri that he also was hired in August 2001 to test someone about whether they had any other copies of a certain tape. The test subject also declined to give Herlock his name or signature. He gave me a moniker, he told me to just call him Showtime, Herlock said. So that's what I wrote on the form. Herlock also never got any information about what was on the tape in question, Herlock said. He was directed to refer to it only as the performance tape, he said. Herlock does not recall actually giving the subject a polygraph test, he said. If the man refused to sign his form, Herlock probably wouldn't have tested him, he said. Seems to me like he just got upset over the whole process and wanted to stop, he said. Defense attorneys objected to the speculation, and Herlock acknowledged that, yes, he was speculating. It was just so long ago, he said. Kelly and co-defendants Brown and Daryl McDavid are accused of participating in an extensive scheme to cover up Kelly's misdeeds. The centerpiece witness Monday was a mother whose young daughter was allegedly sexually assaulted by R.Kelly on videotape in the 1990s. She testified that Kelly threatened them and sent them out of town after the allegations of abuse first surfaced more than 20 years ago. The woman, who is being referred to under the pseudonym Susan, echoed some of the explosive claims her daughter Jane gave made in court last week, a watershed moment in the R. Kelly saga after years of denying any sexual misconduct by the Randy B superstar. But Susan's testimony, unlike Jane's, was disjointed and confusing at times, and she contradicted her daughter on a few key points. Kelly, 55, is charged with 13 counts of production of child pornography, conspiracy to produce child pornography, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Some of the counts carry a mandatory minimum of 10 years behind bars if convicted, while others have ranges of 5 to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors are also seeking a personal money forfeiture of $1.5 million from Kelly. Afternoon briefing. The trial is expected to last at least through mid-September, and jurors are likely to hear from more women who say Kelly had sexual contact with them when they were minors. Prosecutors also allege Kelly and his team took extensive measures to conceal Kelly's misdeeds, ultimately leading to his acquittal on state child pornography charges in 2008. Jurors on Friday watched graphic clips of 3 separate videos allegedly showing the Randy B superstar sexually assaulting 14-year-old Jane. Jane testified last week that she was the girl seen on the videos and that Kelly had sex with her innumerable times when she was underage, then paid her and her family to keep quiet. Kelly's defense so far has not directly contested that it is Kelly on the video clips, only saying that their authenticity could not be verified and that Kelly was previously acquitted for conduct related to them. Nor has the defense given jurors an alternate version of Jane's narrative of events related to videos. Instead, the defense lawyers are seeking to sow doubt by telling the panel Jane denied it was her on the clips for more than 2 decades. Regardless of the outcome, Kelly is still facing decades in prison. In June, he was sentenced to 30 years on federal racketeering charges brought in New York. He is appealing both the jury's verdict and the sentence in that case. Jamal Eisner at Chicago Tribune.
All right, you guys were able to hear that article, and that was very, very interesting to say the least. And then we also hear about, R. Kelly being expressive, laughing, you know what I'm saying, and kind of, showing some kind of form of emotion towards the liar. The alleged liar, shall I say, you know what I'm saying? Very interesting to say the least. And I'm excited to be able to read his testimony. It probably won't be until next week we get on that, because like I said, we are slowly but surely gathering ourselves with these transcripts, okay? But not for nothing, speaking of transcripts, let's go ahead and let's get into the transcripts, okay? Don't want to hold you guys any longer than I have to. And again, we're not going to quite yet get into gosh, what's baby girl's name? We're not going to get quite yet into Rashana's testimony. I can tell you that now. That's not going to happen because we have 2 other individuals that's going to be coming before her. Not for nothing, you will hear Rashana's testimony this week. I guarantee you, because if I have to continue to pre-read some stuff, we will, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So seeing as though this particular set of transcripts do not have my watermark, I am not going to make them be big on the screen. I'm going to place myself off to the side as I read them. Anybody that try to take my ish, it's going to have a hard time, okay? Okay, go bomb yourself. All right. So let's go ahead and get it bigger. And as I stated, this is the 4th day All right. This is the cross, if I'm not mistaken, of the officer, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll hear and we'll read in regards to it. But we are starting on page 639. Okay. 639. Let me go ahead and update. Up 639. Okay. And it is I'll update and let you know like what it is or whatever. Transcript reading. All right. So anybody that comes in, they know what we're reading, okay? Now I'm gonna try to give you guys at least anywhere from 30 minutes to a good hour of the read. And wherever we leave off, that's where we leave off. And we're gonna continue later this week, okay? I promise you guys, okay? All right, not for nothing. Let's go ahead and get into it, okay? Now I may be taking pause because my allergies are still flaring up. I don't know if you guys still hear. I'm kind of a little congested. But yeah, so just letting you guys know in advance. All right, let's proceed. The judge. The jurors are all here and they are lining up, so they'll be in a minute or two. So come to order. I think the first order is Miss Bogine will cross-examine Mr. Everett. Mr. Brinkley. Judge, I'm going to examine Mr. Everett first today. Okay. Your Honor, this is Jason Julian. Before the juries come in, there was one thing that I wanted to discuss with you, and it's just a follow-up to what I mentioned yesterday about comments in opening statements. Now, I have the benefit of the transcript, and so me and Miss Bonjean conferred. I don't think she intended anything bad by this. In fact, she told me that she meant for the jurors to perhaps, if they are going to go on social media, that that will be after the trial. So not during the trial. Now, how many of you guys remember that? See, yeah, if you heard the reading, she was like, I didn't say that. And I said, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. So to hear it confirmed is so refreshing. The judge goes on, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. So what we heard yesterday during opening statement was something about the jurors going on social media. What I'm saying is me and Miss Bogine spoke, and what she meant by that was that they, after the trial, had concluded go on social media. But the way it came out, and I'll just read you the transcript. Thank you, because this thank you, because this is exactly what I pointed out. You know, I should point out that Mr. Kelly, I'm not here to defend his moral character or defend his sexual proclivities. When it comes to the amount of partners he has or anything of that nature, okay? And when you go back to the jury room, eventually you're not going to be asked to decide whether he is a good or bad person. Okay, that's for social media. You can hold those thoughts, and that's something that you can maybe communicate there. End quote. So, what I'm asking of Your Honor is just to admonish the juries that they are not to go on social media during the trial. They are not to communicate anything about the trial. I will do it again after the session. Thank you, Your Honor. I have and I will occasionally do that, but I did tell them off the bat that they stay off social media. And Your Honor, for the record, I have no objection to that. But as you can see from my own words, I was pointing out the exact opposite. Like the jury, the courtroom is not for this. You can hold those thoughts if you want. I didn't even pick that up. So, okay. I doubt if the jurors did either, but obviously I told them not to, so I don't think they would take that as an invitation to disobey what the judge told them to do. Your Honor, we just have two, but I will periodically advise them, instruct them again, just in case somebody decides maybe to do that. Your Honor, I have one issue, Judge. If I may, excuse me, you want to go first? Just briefly, we have two issues. Number one, and I talked to defense counsel about this before this morning. We anticipate that some witnesses today will ID or be asked to ID the defendants. Given the COVID procedures that are in place, everyone has gotten masks. The government would ask prior to the witness looking around the room if Your Honor would ask everyone in the courtroom to remove their mask. Is that acceptable to the court? If it's acceptable to everybody else, just don't breathe on each other. We will try not to do that. We don't want to lose anybody. Thank you, Your Honor. The other issue is regarding sketch artists. There will be a victim witness testifying today. In our motions in lemon, which you granted, there was a note about having the sketch artist and anonymize or not sketch the victim witnesses. And so today we are asking before that at the beginning of the day. I appreciate that these sketch artists are likely in the room right now to be admonished if they are going to sketch the victim witnesses that they anonymize the face and hair. All right, I will instruct the sketch artist if you wish to sketch these minor witnesses that you obliterate the face like they do on television. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I had one issue. I just, if I may, yes, go ahead. Hey, baby, creeping in here now. Now you're trying to creep. And I just want to remind the court that some of their witnesses I would be calling in my case. So I am going to do a cross and then I'm going to go into some open-ended questions. Instead of recalling retired Officer Everett, I'll be asking him questions. Is that acceptable? I would hope that we would do that. So to move the case along so you don't have to recall witnesses, so that the parties, the defendants in this case, would be able to go beyond the direct examination to complete the testimony of a particular witness. Does the government object to that? No, we discussed it. That's acceptable, Your Honor. Fine. I'm also going to very briefly talk to the CPD Officer Everett and then one federal agent about the process of discovery and disclosure, not for the purpose of suggesting that the government hasn't given us something. I understand that, and I'm not going into that. It's just to briefly educate the jurors about how the defense learns about the evidence in the case. As long as you don't indicate that there was any violation of discovery, you can do that. Presumably, as long as it's relevant, anything else. That's it. Thanks, Judge. All right. See if they're ready. Jury comes in. Please be seated. Detective Everett may resume the stand for cross-examination. Just to remind the jurors, Detective Everett from the Chicago Police Department, retired, was subject to direct examination last night. And that's where we will pick up with the cross-examination with Attorney Brenton Lee on behalf of Mr. David. It's a little anticlimactic. Yeah. Detective Everett, you are still under oath from yesterday. Do you understand that, sir? Yes. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. Lisa says, thank you for taking the money to get the transcripts and the time to share them with us. You're so welcome. K-Sue says, he's done. Fame, black man, 30 years. America, anything is possible. I live in Europe. I would have left America years ago. Yeah, well, the thing is that he is guilty. You know, he was found guilty of that, and given the evidence of what we're reading and hearing now, I won't put past him that he's going to be proven guilty in the court of law for this, for these counts as well. Welcome, you guys. You may remove your mask. Mr. Brindley, you may question the witness. Thank you, Your Honor. Daniel Everett, government's witness, previously sworn, cross-examination. Detective, now you said yesterday that back in 2002, you received a VHS video cassette from Jim DeRogas. Is that right? Yes, it is. DeRogas is some kind of a reporter, or he was anyway, from Chicago Sun-Times. Is that right? That's correct, yes. Okay, and so in 2002, some 20 years ago, approximately, you watched that VHS video, right? Yes, I did. Okay, now you testified yesterday that Monday, this week, y'all, technically last week, Monday, August 15, 2022, you watched a video that the government provided, right? Yes. Okay. There has been some 20 years approximately between the time that you watched Jim DeRogas' VHS cassette and the time that you watched the video provided by the government, right? Yes. Now, you said that the video you saw yesterday, you recognized the content as being the same as what you had seen 20 years ago. Is that right? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, we just established, and I just want to be clear that what you got from DeRogas was actually a physical cassette tape, right? It was a DHS tape. Yeah. No. What you got from Jim himself, a VHS. You mean, right? Yeah, a VHS. Okay. So you got a VHS video cassette tape from Jim, and it had to be put in a VCR in order to watch it, right? Yes. What you watched with the government on Monday, and then again on Tuesday, I think, I'm sorry, Monday and Wednesday was a disc, right? Yes, it was. So what you were shown yesterday in court was a disc, right? Yes. It was not a VHS video cassette, was it? No, it wasn't. Okay. And you do not know specifically when the disc you saw this week was made, do you? No, I don't. Okay. And you did what you laughing for, babe? You getting where he going? They trying it, but come on now. And you did not ever get the opportunity to watch the disc that you were provided and then watch the VHS video cassette in a VCR to determine if they were indeed exactly the same, did you? No, I did not. Okay. And so you do not know if there is a difference in terms of the exact amount of time between the disc you were shown and the VHS video cassette that came from Jim DeRogas. Correct. Hold on one moment, y'all. Now, I'm not sure I understand your question. Well, there's a time duration for each video. The tape that you got back 20 years ago, and this you saw this time, right? Yes. Okay. And you didn't have an exact running time from the VHS DeRogas video. You didn't have a running time memorized for 20 years, did you? No. Okay. So then when you watch the disc, you don't know if the running time on the disc is exactly the same as the running time on the DeRoga's video, correct? I'm not sure what you mean by running time. The amount of time it takes, the exact amount of time to watch the video, the number of seconds and minutes. Okay, I do not know exactly, no. Okay. And you don't know whether there are any differences in pixelation, for example, the number of pixels in the video on the disc you receive and the VHS tape from DeRoga's. You don't know if there are differences like that, do you? No, I don't. You don't know if there are differences in resolution between the disc you received and what you saw on the DeRoga's tape, do you? No, I don't. You don't know if the video disc that you were shown now was enhanced in any way from whatever videotape you saw from DeRoga's 20 years ago, do you? I did not, it did not appear to be, but no. Technically, you don't know, right? No. And you don't know the disc that you got. You don't know how many times the content on that disc had been copied and recopied before you saw it, do you? No, I don't. Okay. And so you don't know if there are any differences between the electronic content of the disc you saw this week and the VHS tape you watched 20 years ago, do you? No. And in fact, detective, you do not know. Well, let me ask it to you a different way. When you were with the government and they gave you this disc to look at, did they ever show you the actual VHS tape that came from DeRoga's? No. Did they ever give you an opportunity to look at a VHS tape and say, yes, that's the tape I got from Jim DeRoga's? No. So as you sit here today, detective, the real tape that actually came from Jim DeRoga's some 20 years ago, you don't know where that one is, do you? I do not know. Okay. And in your meetings with the government to prepare your testimony, they were never able to show you any such video cassette, were they? No. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Here I go. Sorry, I was waiting on the package. Okay, now I'll talk to you a little bit more about some of your interactions with the family of the this individual, okay, that we're calling Jane for our purposes here in court. So what happened was, as I understood it, you got an anonymous tip, right? An anonymous call was made. Yes. Okay. And What that means is somebody called and made an allegation about Mr. Kelly and some underage girl. But the person who called didn't want to leave their name, right? Right. Okay. And so, based on this nameless allegation, you did your job, which was to go out and find out if there was anything to it, right? Yes. And what you do in a situation like that is you try to speak to the minor in question and the minor's family if you can, right? That's correct. All right. And so you did that very thing, right? Yes. The first time you did it, did you say it was when in 99 or 2000? 2000, December of 2000, right? Correct. Okay, so you went to the home of the minor Jane, right? No. You met them somewhere else. Yes. Okay. Wherever you met them in December of 2000, you asked her specifically whether there was any kind of inappropriate relationship between her and the musical artist, Robert Kelly, right? I did. Okay. And she said in several different forms, no, right? That's correct. She denied it completely, right? That's correct. Her mother and father, as I think I understood you, they were also present, right? Yes, they were. And the mother also denied it, right? Yes. The father also denied it, right? Yes. And so, as a law enforcement officer listening to what they had to say, you had to find that it was unfounded, right? Yes. Because the information you had based on what they told you led you to believe there was nothing to it, right? There was no evidence to substantiate a crime. Okay. And so then there was a second instance where you went back again. Is that right? You talked to her a second time. No. You did not? No, we were unable to locate her. Okay. So there was a period of time where you were trying to find her, but she was out of town or you couldn't locate her, right? She could not locate her. Now, in fact, in March of 2002, later, you know that the investigator reporting investigators did talk to her again, right? On that particular day, there were interviews done. I did not speak with Jane, though. You did not. I did not. But you know from your participation in this investigation that in March of 2002, Jane, mom, and dad again denied it all, right? Yes. Okay. They denied that it was her or could be her or this video that came from Jim DeRogan's. Is that right? They did, yes. Okay, at this time, Your Honor, I have no further questions for Detective Everett. Miss Bonjean? Yes, Your Honor, I have a few. Good morning, Detective. Good morning. When you were working on this investigation, you were working with the Chicago Police Department, right? Yes, I was. You were a Chicago police detective, correct? That's correct. You weren't a federal agent, correct? No, I was not. You were not working on behalf of the federal jurors, any federal jurisdiction, correct? I was not, yes. Now, you testified that on October 24th in 2000, you or I guess a colleague received this anonymous complaint that you just mentioned under cross-examination by Mr. Brindley. That information information that Mr. Kelly may be having this inappropriate and unlawful relationship with a minor, right? Yes. And after that, the anonymous caller sent you some documents, didn't they? Or didn't she? I'm sorry. The anonymous caller sent you some documents. Yes. Didn't she? And one of those documents was a report prepared by DCFS, right? I don't recall that. Would anything refresh your recollection? I recall receiving documents, but not a report from DCFS. Okay. How about a report by you? Would that refresh your recollection? It would. All right. Okay, Judge, I'm going to ask to show only to the witness. You may. Defense Exhibit 315 for identification purposes only. Do we need to switch the input? What computer are you using? It's Defense PC1. Is it on the video or board? I got it, Judge. It says no signal for our computer. I have it. It's fine. Judge, may I approach? I don't have to ask. You don't need to ask permission to approach. Just give it to him and let's go. Detective, I'm going to ask that you take a look at that report and particularly the second paragraph, if you would, and let me know when you are finished reviewing it. Okay, I'm familiar with this. Okay, does it refresh your recollection? Yes. All right. What is DCFS, detective? DCFS is Department of Children and Family Services, mandated to investigate allegations of child abuse. And a DCFS complaint was made on April 17, 2000 in connection with Jane. Isn't that right? Yes. Okay. That would be before you were assigned to investigate on October 24th of 2000, right? I don't believe it was before. It was, I believe it was after. Well, April, it was on 24th October. That's when you got involved. But the DCFS investigation was in April of 2000. That would be before, right? Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. And the complaint that was logged at DCFS was actually made against, or was including made against the parents of Jane. Isn't that right? According to this, yes. And their names were Susan and Brandon. Is that what we're Brandon? Okay. When I say Susan and Brandon, do you know who I'm speaking about? No. Okay. Well, if the government isn't going to tell their witnesses the synonyms, it's going to make it a little difficult. Mr. Julian, you can ask if they're the minor's parents. You're talking about, I don't know, are these the parents? Yes. Okay. If I call them Susan and Brandon, will you understand that I'm talking about the parents of Jane? Okay, yes. All right, fine. Okay, and this DCFS complaint that was logged against Susan and Brandon was a complaint that they were knowingly allowing their daughter to engage in a sexual relationship with her 33-year-old boyfriend. That was the complaint, correct? That's what I believe. Ooh, interesting. How many of you guys knew that? I didn't know. This is my first time hearing anything being towards the parents and them referring to R.Kelly as a boyfriend. Wow, that is extremely interesting. Okay, we're approaching an hour here, you guys. I'm gonna go a little bit over an hour, just a ski bit, and then we'll take up later tomorrow. Okay, but again, we will be coming back tonight to continue the They Called Him Daddy 2 series. Okay, so set your reminders. Okay, 7:30. That's what I believe, but I was not a member of DCFS. I'm not sure what their exact intentions were. That's not what I'm asking. You became aware of an allegation that was lodged against the parents in April of 2000, right? Yes, I did. And it was after that allegation in October when you interviewed Jane, right? Yes. And you also interviewed the parents, Susan and Brandon, right? I did. Now, did you call them up and say, I'd like to interview you? Or did you just show up, and how did the interview come about? I believe I called them. I mean, it was our policy to arrange interviews, making appointments. And I believe we called them. I'm not absolutely certain, though. And when you raised this issue with them, they were in shock that you were inquiring about this, right? No. And you found them uncooperative. Is that correct? Yes. And Susan and Brandon told you that it had already been investigated by DCFS and was unfounded, correct? Yes, they said it's been investigated. And you also concluded it was unfounded, right? Yes. Did you conduct any other investigation after that? At some point, we did, yes. Did you speak to a Stephanie Edwards or someone known as Sparkle? Yes. Did you do that before you unfounded the allegation or after you unfounded the allegations? That was after I unfounded this investigation. Okay. So I want to focus on what you did before you unfounded this allegation. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Before we unfounded this investigation, there was very little, if any, contact with anybody. I understand. And I'm going to ask you about that. Okay. Did you speak to Sparkle before you unfounded this investigation? No. Before I unfounded this investigation? No. Okay. Did you try to interview Mr. Kelly before you unfounded this allegation? No. Did you do any investigation other than talking to Jane and the parents prior to unfounding this allegation? No. Did you make a note anywhere in your records, as far as you know, in which you indicated that you had suspicious or you didn't believe the parents or anything of that nature? I did not. And fair to say that before you unfounded the allegation, it was a single interview with Jane and her parents, correct? Correct. How long did that interview last, by the way? Approximately a half an hour, 45 minutes. Now, fast forward to February 1st, 2002-ish. This is when you come into possession of a video that was provided by a reporter, right? Yes. And this is the video. You have no idea where it's at, right? I don't. And it's a video you haven't looked at, correct? Recently, anyway. No. Now, are you able to tell us where it is right now? I'm sorry. Are you able to tell us where that particular video is right now? I don't know where it is. Did you put your initials in it? Are you talking about the disc or the VHS tape? The VHS tape you got from Mr. DeRogas. Did you inscribe your initials into it? I did. Do you know where that videotape is? I inventoried it back then when Chicago Police Department, where it is today. I don't know. Have you seen any videotape with your initials inscribed in it? No. Since you were interviewed by the U.S. Attorney's Office, for instance? No. You did interview the parents on March 15, 2002, correct? Yes. Again and again, they showed up with lawyers. Is that right? Yes. You didn't actually get to interview Jane because they had a lawyer there, right? We had a social worker that we were planning on having interview Jane, but she wasn't interviewed, right? No, not to my knowledge. And after, in fact, the only time you interviewed Jane was on the February 1st when you went to the shoe store in Oak Park, right? Was it a shoe store? Yes, it was a shoe store they owned. I believe so. So that was the one and only time you ever spoke to Jane. Am I correct about that? Yes. Okay. Now, during the course of your investigation, you came into possession of other videotapes that depicted Mr. Kelly in with sexual partners, right? Yes. Okay. And you concluded that these were adult sexual partners. Yes. And the rest of this conversation was redacted. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Okay, investigator or detective. I'm going to have to show you a police report. And I'm going to draw your attention to a portion of it so you'll know who I'm talking about, okay? But I'm not going to use the name associated, okay? If that makes sense. Did you ever find his name, his report, or report on the monitor? So we don't have to judge. We're working on that now. All right. Is that the report he has, or is there another report? It's different. It's a different report. Everything okay, babe? Did you see that laptop there? It's still in the truck. Mm-hmm. Okay. Show him the report. Okay, it's a long report. I just want to show him the exact paragraph. Yes, go ahead. Okay, detective. I'm going to show you a report. It's a 19-page document. Yes. And if you can just look at it and generally without telling anybody what's in it, can you identify what it is? The question is what it is. Do you know what it is? Yes. Okay. What is it? Just generally. Sorry, y'all got a message. It's my supplementary report, police report. Okay, it's a police report, right? Yes. Now, I would like to draw your attention specifically to, well, first of all, page 13 of 18 of this police report. Page 13, 13 of 18. Okay. And I'm going to have you look at, it's right in the middle of the page. It's the second full paragraph. It starts with April 16th of 2002. All right. On what page are you looking at? 13 of 18. 13 and 18. No, 13 of 18. They had it on the monitor a minute ago. Can you give me those dates again? Just look at the page 13 of your police report, sir. Why don't you show it to him? I am looking at page 13. April 16th of 2002. It's the second full paragraph. Miss Bonjean, why don't you just get it for him? Okay. And just point it out to him. So what you're talking about, so that I don't see April 16th. It's also on the monitor now. Do you have it? Okay. Okay. Now, do you see it? I see it now. Okay. On April 16, 2002, you had the opportunity to speak to, well, first, let me show you. In the last sentence, there we go. There we go. In the last sentence, there is a person's name that begins, well, I'm not even going to say what it begins with. Do you see a person's name at the first word in the last sentence? I do. Okay. If I'm going to call her Pinky. All right. Okay. All right. Now, on April 16th of 2002, did you have an opportunity to talk to Pinky's mother? I did. And did you understand Pinky to be Jane's friend? I did. And you also had an opportunity to speak with Pinky. Isn't that right? Yes. Okay. And Pinky did not tell you about any sexual activity she had with Mr. Kelly, did she? Objection. Calls for hearsay. It's the opposite of hearsay. I don't believe it would be. What she didn't do is not hearsay. So you're asking about a conversation that the person had with Detective Everett, Your Honor. Well, it depends on what's in the conversation. Well, anyway, let's proceed. Well, Judge, I'd prefer not to have to call him back. So, and Pinky is going to testify, so I'll do it that way. However, the court wants me to proceed. He can answer the question. Okay. What she didn't say? Right. That's all I'm asking about. Yeah. Okay. Pinky did not tell you she had a sexual relationship with Mr. Kelly, right? According to this document, this paragraph, no. And you had the opportunity to actually interview Pinky another time. Do you remember that? I did. Okay. And at no point did Pinky ever tell you that she had a sexual relationship with Mr. Kelly, did she? I would have to review my report for the other conversation. Okay, well, we will be able to get that up for you too. Let's look at page, you can give me 1 second. Do you remember interviewing her a second time? I do. You think you would remember if she told you she had a sexual relationship with Mr. Kelly? I cannot recall without reviewing my police report. Okay. Did you open up an investigation into any allegations of a sexual relationship with Mr. Kelly as a result of Pinky's allegations? No, I did not. And if she had told you that she was having sex as an underage person with Mr. Kelly, you think you might have opened up an investigation about that? If who had sex with Mr. Kelly? Pinky. Of course I would have. Yes. And you didn't do that, right? No. I'm going to ask you to look at the screen. I don't think it's when you are done reading that paragraph, will you let me know? Okay. The purpose is for refreshing his recollection. Right. Okay. Let me know when you are finished, Detective. I will. Just to clear the record, this is being admitted not for the truth, but on what caused him to do or not to do something. I'm finished reading it. Okay, detective, do you remember doing some investigation about another videotape that there was some concerns that it included images of Pinky? No, I do not recall that. Okay. Does this refresh your recollection of doing that investigation? No. And at no point did Pinky, does this refresh your recollection about whether Pinky and her mother were shown images from another videotape? Yes. Okay. And does it refresh your recollection that Pinky and her mother denied that Pinky was involved in any video recorded activities that were portrayed on this videotape? Right? That's right. All right. You can take that down. Is that it? It is, Your Honor. Miss Judge, do you wish to ask questions? Miss Judge. Thank you, Judge. Cross-examination. All right, we're going to stop there with the cross-examination by Miss Judge, okay? And we are going to continue this on tomorrow, okay? Because as I stated with you guys, on tonight, we are going to start back up. They called him Daddy. All right, you guys. Yes, that's right. Same bat place, different bat time. Join us tonight as we continue. Sorry, you guys. They called him Daddy 2 series, where we look at the transcripts of the male victims of R.Kelly and the New York trial, okay, that they took the stand at the New York trial. And we're going to hear about them and hear how he actually did them a lot better than he did the females that he abused, okay? And you can join us here at 7:30 here on WhitneyD TV. And we're going to actually follow back up with the continuation of these transcripts on tomorrow. Please mark down 670 someone for me in the chat, okay? We left off at 670. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the screen, and there it goes. And this was the testimony of the officer, the detective that did the investigation in regards to the allegations on R.Kelly and Rashonda. Okay, so we are going to continue the furtherance of the cross-examination. I think it's by the government now at this point on tomorrow. I'm actually going to possibly pre-record it on tonight. And then I'm going to probably release it in the morning. So when I come back live on tomorrow afternoon, we'll be able to hopefully get into Rashonda's testimony. I'm going to try my best to get through this. We still have to hear the cross, as well as hear from the guy that actually bought R. Kelly's house, child, that reported these smoke alarms being having cameras in them. Child. Yeah, I know you guys have heard about that. We're going to actually read the testimony here soon, okay? So again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so very much. Lisa says thumbs up. Thank you so very much for the thumbs up, okay? Not for nothing, guys. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to another installation of Evidence Over Emotions, the road to Illinois trial for R. Kelly. I will see you guys on tonight. Deuces.
With you people, every famous nigga that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela. Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges, but R. Kelly is not one of those men. We all know the nigga can sing, but what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? You a fan of R. Kelly? You want to help R. Kelly? Then get some counseling for R. Kelly. Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Whitney D of Whitney D TV and the producer of When Time Stopped. And I am here to let you guys know that we are casting for When Time Stopped 2, a docuseries on childhood sexual abuse. Now, myself, along with 3 other individuals, told our stories, but we want to hear from you. Now, are you ready to tell your story? Are you a survivor? Or are you a parent? We would like to hear from you. Here's how you can submit.
When Time Stopped 2, now casting. Seeking female and male adults ready to share their story of sexual abuse or parents of a child or children that have suffered from sexual abuse, and you are ready to speak about your journey. Email your story and contact information to WhitneyDavisPlanning@gmail.com.
What up, what up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in Whitney D TV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify.